Hola, from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Wednesday words. Hope everybody had a good day. I know I was on here for 10 minutes earlier, and I'm going mobile again tonight, but I'm doing it a little different than I normally do with my music. Because normally, I'm going to just turn it down just a little bit so it's not too loud in the background. Because normally, I don't do StreamYard from my phone, but I decided we're gonna try this one again. Only thing I haven't figured out how to do on StreamYards mobile is I don't know how to bring anybody up yet. So once I figure that part out, then I'll be solid. Because you can have up to 10 people on a panel for StreamYards. But I wanted to start out by just talking about a little bit about what I was talking about earlier today as I'm standing in the kitchen cooking. What I wanted to talk about really was our kids going back to school. And how I'm kind of on the fence about that happening in person, even though I know that is probably what is the best thing to happen for the kids. But um, interestingly enough, when I did that 10-minute conversation about it today, I got a dislike about that. I don't know why I got a dislike about that. I mean, I'm talking about wondering what our kids' safety is going to be like when they get back in these classrooms, you know? And it's something that we really do have to think about, because if we have our kids back in the classrooms, let's hypothetically say school districts start to do that, okay? And upon doing that, somehow they're, able to do this, you know, get even our, 4 and 5-year-olds to practice the hygiene practices that they need to at school, wear a mask all day in school, and um, and that is, changing out those masks because they can only wear it for so long before you have to change it out. But just wearing the mask and you know doing all of that. But then you have to think about the fact that we've got teachers that are at higher risk. Um, you have some students who have pre-existing conditions. You know, are we going to be able to temperature check every single child coming into the classroom? Are we going to have the social distancing that we need to have in the classrooms? And then let's think about the online, because I know for a fact that school districts like LAUSD, which is the second largest, and then Detroit, which is predominantly, I'll say half of their students have what they need and half of them don't. In Los Angeles, in the poorer parts, all of these kids are not already, equipped with laptops or tablets or internet. Because, see, here's the thing. Some people don't have internet because they can't afford it. So even if you give them a couple of months free. What happens when they no longer can afford to have it? Because that's the reason they didn't have it in the first place. I'm just saying. Please don't forget to thumbs up the chat, please, as you come in. I appreciate everyone's support. You know, I know I do. I haven't been on my game, and I haven't been consistent the last week or so. I'd say the last couple of weeks. And there's just been a lot going on, but I'm trying to get back on and do this on a consistent basis like I'm supposed to be doing. Because A, I need to be getting content out. And B, I need to get my watch hours for this channel. You know, I'm somewhere around 2,000. I know you guys hear in the back, that's French fries frying at 10:30 at night, West Coast time. I'm actually going to walk outside right now while I'm still talking and just see if it's quiet out here. It's quiet in the neighborhood right now. This is I don't know. Hopefully this is going to be my last month here. I've been out, guys, looking for places, and there are so many scams. There's so many scams out there for places. I mean, you get these emails back because these places. Some of these places don't have numbers, so you have to email them, and then you get these emails back saying that the person is, I don't know, naval deployed, or they had to take a job in another part of the country or whatever, and they want to rent out their place. They thought they were going to sell it, but they changed their mind. You know, hey Adina, I'm on the mobile StreamYards tonight. So I'm actually able to be in StreamYards on my phone. So I'm actually able to walk around and do my cooking and not be walking away from the computer. But in this search for a new home, there's scammers out there, especially on the Craigslist rentals, you guys. And I've actually found like places in the past on Craigslist, but these people put these places up that they don't even own, and they're trying to get someone who is trying to find a place and who's gullible to send money to some person aimlessly out of state, but also give them all your personal information. Like, who does that? Who does that? You know? And it's happened on two of them so far in this search. And I'm like, I hope I don't see any more like that. And I'm hoping that we find a place soon because, you know, having, hey Sierra, what's up? How are you? You're up late, girl. But yeah, looking for a place and having a child who is an adult, a disabled adult, specifically with autism, can be a little daunting because, you know, I can't necessarily like look at everything that might necessarily be best for me. I gotta like kind of get maybe a house or a townhouse and try to get something that has like a yard or something, and then also try to keep within my my budget parameters on this place. Because I don't want to be paying somebody else's mortgage. Seriously. And that then again limits you know, where in the city you can find a place. Are you baking chicken? Yeah, I already did some chicken. I heated up some leftover spaghetti, and now I'm doing some fries. And I'm actually over here cutting some bread to make some garlic bread. Then I'm gonna put in the oven. It's late. I know I shouldn't be cooking this late, but it happens that way sometimes. That's how my day has been today. That's how my day has been today, y'all. But it's all good because I'm enjoying this mobile StreamYard part. So I can have it on my phone. They finally stopped hating on the iPhone with the StreamYards because everybody with an Android was able to get on, but if you had an iPhone, you were locked out of getting on mobile until they finally created a mobile version of it. And here's the thing: now it it knows that I'm on an iPhone, and it won't even let me go through Chrome to come into the broadcast studio. I have to come through Safari. Yeah, it's like it's not it. It won't even. It doesn't even get tricked. Hey Terry. Oh, you doing the night shift? Whoa, man. I understand. Thank you for coming through. No wonder you were sleeping today. No wonder you were sleeping today. Yeah, that was a really quick live today. Hopefully tomorrow, if I or Friday, if I do a live in the daytime, it'll be more than like 10 minutes. Yeah, hopefully I can do that the next one because I like coming on during the day if I can because um you know I got folks that are not necessarily on the West Coast and they can't, you know, they may not be up in the middle of the night as it would be for the East Coast. You know, anything after 8 o'clock on the West Coast is pretty much late for East Coasters. And I understand, y'all, I do. I'm buttering my bread before I throw it in this oven. Oh, I gotta turn the oven up. I gotta turn it up to 425. Yeah. So, but looking at the way that the schools are, I know that they want to open up the school. I also know a lot of people who are not going to put their kids back in school. And then this Betsy Voss, who's over the Department of Education, who never ever had her children in public schools. Let's let that part marinate. Okay, you know she's looking at other nations and saying, well, you know, in Japan and here and there, you know, the kids are able to go back to school with the mask on, and they're able to keep them on all day and everything. But that doesn't mean that they can't still be contagious. You know, they can say all they want that it's a lower risk of children getting the coronavirus. But do you want to take that risk with your child? You know, that hopefully they don't get the really bad part, you know, of it, or that they don't get that other thing that's going on around. Hey, Rain and Woman. Hey, Six Figures. So, I mean, I'm looking at it from that perspective, y'all. But they keep saying they're going to open up these schools. They keep saying they're going to open them up, and I'm just not that confident. And my son is out of school, but because he's in, adult day, as they call it, adult day program for special needs adults, they kind of do how they do stuff according to how schools do it because he's in a community-based program. Which is another reason why I need to get him in some other kind of program. I need to have a conversation with Aretha Martin of the Special Needs Network. Thank you so much, Six Figures. So, you know, I'm glad that my son is out of school because it looks like I'm going to have to move to where another regional center is, y'all. And I know I've explained this like on videos and everything, but in California, the way that they deal with people that have developmental disabilities like autism is that they have regional centers that help with, that have their caseworkers and everything that make sure they're getting their services and all of that stuff. And so if I have to move to another one, I'm going to have to probably move to one that may not be as good with the services for my son, but I'm going to go check that out because I know someone who has an adult in that regional center. But I hate to tell y'all, sometimes the blacker and browner areas, they don't get all of the services and stuff. And I've been spoiled with the services for my son. Who are you talking about? Who was on Glee? Naya Rivers. Oh, No, Naya Rivers. Naya Rivers. That's the one who, when she was a kid, was discovered, I think, by Red Fox. And isn't she the one that went out with, she's the one who went out with that dude with Big Sean before he was with Ariana? Isn't she the one that like married a dude on like the same day that she was supposed to marry Big Sean? That was like the wow. So that's the same chick. I remember she's the one he wrote that song about, y'all. I ain't effing with you. That song he said, yeah, that song he sang. That song that Big Sean did back a few years back. It was about this chick. If this is the one I'm thinking of, that was on Glee. Cause she's like, I think she's like a Afro Latina. She went on a so she and the kid she had with this guy. Oh my god! Cause I know she married the dude. It was like her ex, and she got back with him when her and Big Sean broke up. Wow! So they were killed on a boat ride. Hey, Marlon Music. I'm in the kitchen, y'all, cooking these fries. Almost done too. But my bread is not, because I just stuck it in the oven. That's crazy. And a 4-year-old child. Hey, Jack. Thanks for coming, Jack. I haven't seen you in a minute. That is crazy. I'm telling y'all, life is fleeting. It's fleeting, y'all. You just don't know. You don't know. Hold on 1 second, you guys. I'm going to put y'all on mute for one moment. Hold on. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to have an offline conversation. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so rude. Sierra is my girl. She knows me in real life. She knows me from back in the day. I used to go sing karaoke at a bar that she was a bartender at. That was a while ago. That's where she got married and got babies and came on YouTube. That was before that. And she moved to the east side. See? I know y'all hear me moving dishes. I'm putting some dishes in the sink. Y'all, we don't have paper plates around here. I don't have any paper plates. Maybe in my next house, I'll have paper plates, but we don't have paper plates. So everything goes on regular plates, on real plates. And my fries are almost done. That's not what he wants, so let me get his. I'm just looking in the chat. Anytime. Oh, you talking about the singer? No. Now, I don't know the singer, Sierra. I know her like y'all know her. I know her like y'all know her. I'm trying to put everything together. Make somebody's dinner. Put everything on the plate. Ouch. Bread's hot. And I'm getting the fries out of the thing. Hey, Angel. How are you? Hey, 1SP. Thank you for coming. Yeah. I'm fearful for our kids and how their education is going to look like for the near future. Because I honestly don't think that it's going to be anytime soon. You know, I mean, I've got friends who've got kids that were going away for college, and now they're debating as to whether they're going to go away to college. Because they're like, well, what's the point of me going to college when there may not be any jobs
for me out there with all the stuff that's going on. This is how some of these kids are thinking that are just coming out of high school. They're looking at it from that perspective, thinking this is going to be around forever, but this is not the first, as we say, plague that this world has had. It's not the first one. It's not. You know, this one just happens to be in modern times, you know, and so we're here. We're here. I tell y'all, one thing I hate is in summertime, I have to put out boric acid to kill all the damn ants. And it's time for me to put some more out. I think it's because it's been so hot. I think it's because it's been so hot. Terry, I know that night shift is going to kick your butt. But I appreciate you being coming in and out. I do, really, I do. I worked the night shift before you guys. Actually, at one point, DC was working like a couple of jobs. I was working like, you know, my normal job during the day. Then I had another job. Okay. Did you want another piece of garlic bread? Okay. Um, I was working another job at night online. And I mean, I would be so sleepy sometimes, you guys. I would literally fall asleep on. I would be falling asleep on my online job towards the end of my shift. Isn't that crazy? I was only able to do that for about, I think, like 6 months. Do that overnight, and be working something in the daytime. It was too much for me. I couldn't do it. Yeah, I think for me, I got to work one or the other. But, you know, back in the day when I was in my younger years, I would be in the studio at night, you know, doing session work. And I was able to do it back then, you know, but see, if you burn that candle at both ends when you're younger, you pay for it when you're older, either in you're not being able to hang, or you look like you were doing all of that. So I'd rather not be able to hang than look like I was burning the candle at both ends for all those years. Now I'm going to go put my plate down, and then I'm going to go grab our music and bring it over here where we are. Actually, yeah, put this down. Oh, no. No, can you guys come? Are you going to come eat? I'm talking to my son, y'all. He's hiding. He's been hiding. Y'all know why he's hiding? Because I want him to do something that he does not want to do. Isn't that how it always is? Oh, I think I turned my music off. Let me see what happened. Oh, yeah. Let me turn it back on. Oh, I know. I know what happened. My Bluetooth went off. I had it on the Bluetooth. So let me turn it. That's what happened. Oh, Botox isn't telling any of your secrets. Well, for me, I don't do Botox. But my dad, because my dad is a dermatologist, that's one of the things I think that dermatologists do, unless you go to those, you know, Botox parties that people go to. But I think it's something that dermatologists and then estheticians. I think estheticians can do it too. Hey, Matt. Sorry, I'm eating in you guys' ears. I'm eating chicken. Shame on me, living up to the stereotype. But it's not fried chicken. It's buffalo. Angel Sierra is a good friend of mine in real life. And now she's a mommy, running behind some babies. Okay, so nurse practitioners can do it. Okay. Well, I know my dad did it. He probably still does. I don't know. But when he had his private practice here in California, he would do it in the collagen shots. He hated doing those things though, because at that time the stuff was really, really new. And, but it was things that people were doing instead of getting a plastic surgery. And, you know, dermatologists had to do what they had to do. But I've never thought about getting any shots in my face. Sorry, y'all. French fries now. And I guess I have a few that are crunchy. But I guess the then what can the estheticians do? I guess they just do like the facial stuff. Maybe they can do some of the dermabrasion stuff. They can do that kind of stuff. Because I know I've seen estheticians doing like the skin abrasion stuff, the dermabrasion, with whatever those things are that they use on people's faces. I've only been to an esthetician twice and had a facial done. Only twice. And one of them was on a pivotal birthday. I just don't remember which one. But it was on like a big birthday. I treated myself to a weekend at a spa hotel and went to the spa and got a facial. I think it was like when I turned 45. I think that's the one I did it on. They can't break your skin at all. Well, I know they can do some of the stuff, some things. I don't know. I had a facial, and they did the thing of cleaning out my pores and all of that kind of stuff. And the lady didn't believe how old I was at the time, which is a long time ago. But she couldn't believe my age, and she couldn't believe how beautiful my skin was, you know. And that's because I barely had acne, you know. And thank you, Daddy, who's a dermatologist, who, because my dad's a dermatologist, all of his kids, all of us have beautiful skin, you know. But there are skin problems in our family, Like my dad became a dermatologist
because my grandmother had really bad eczema. And I remember because she would always be putting on all these salves and these creams and everything. I mean, she had it her entire life. And but it skipped. My dad didn't have any issues. My generation didn't have anything. And then my son had the skin issues. But he grew out of it. He hasn't had eczema since he was a kid. But when he had it, it was bad. It was really bad. And we couldn't keep him from scratching. So we would have to put him on the steroids. And that was, like you have to figure out how much to give him so to keep him from scratching, but, not so much that it starts to affect his weight. But he grew out of it. Now he's got great skin. So, but I think estheticians are good. I just, I guess for me, I just don't take the time to really pamper myself like I should. Like, I can't even remember the last time I got an actual massage, from a masseuse. I think it might have been last year. And I've got at least a couple certificates with no expiration date on them that people have given me that I can get them. It's just I'll giving myself that time, and I don't do it, which is crazy. One of these days, I'm going to start to do things like that. But I do pamper myself and I get my nails done every 2 weeks. That's my like pamper thing. Keep my nails done. I keep the nails done. I go get a pedicure in the summertime. I'm gonna be real. Summertime is when I get it. And but massages, I just need to do those, even if I did them like every couple of months. And here's the sad thing, because I have scoliosis, I could actually work it in so that I could get my insurance to pay for me to go get a massage once a month. See what I mean? So it's really about me just not giving myself that time. They are the bomb, Sierra. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm smacking in y'all. I'm making this into a ASMR with the sounds of the food and me smacking my lips. Let me stop. But that's one of the things that I really, and I think I'm going to do, I'm inspired to do a vlog about things that we can do to you know, give ourselves me time. Like, you know, Pilates, yoga, getting massages, getting our nails done, getting our feet done, which means I'm going to have to actually go do those things for research. At least some of them. It's an SRM of me eating.
I know, y'all. I'm sorry. It's I have started working in on an IT project at work, y'all, and I'm a numbers girl, but I'm learning how to do this stuff. I've done it. I've done some of it before, you know, but I'm learning new stuff, and it's wearing me out. So it's taking me like forever to cook, and my household would prefer me to get my act together, make sure everybody gets fed on time. So I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to get myself back on schedule with everything, including with my lives and everything. But just trying to look for a place, and just dealing with the stress of knowing I've got to move, soon. I think once I find a place, I'll calm down some, and I'll get it together. You know, I just pray that wherever we move, that it's, a cool neighborhood. You know, it's okay if it's a little hood, just not too hood. You know, I just want it to be, a nice place, even if it's just for 6 months or a year, because I work from home, so I want to like the environment that I'm going to be working in, you know, and I want it to be like a sanctuary. So hopefully we find the right spot. It's got enough room, for me to, for my working from home, and for me to have a dedicated space for YouTube, and that everyone in the house has enough space so that we're not climbing all over each other unless we want to. Yeah, I know. I know. My soror. Yeah, your mayor is my sorority sister. The Delta's got her in. I think her husband is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. I think her husband's a Kappa. I know that's bad. I hope she, you know, gets well soon. Because y'all saw what happened when DL Hughley got it. He was working and passed out on stage. He's seems to be getting back to himself now. But I know, like right after that happened, man, that you could see the virus was making him look like older than he is. And he's not that old, but it had him looking rough. Yeah, my brother, I think he had just started back to work, so I don't know how that's affecting him, or if he's able to get another kind of do some other kind of work. Because I think he worked for a caterer. I want to say my brother worked for a caterer. He looked really bad, Terry. Y'all, I mean, if you haven't seen it, there's a the interviews on YouTube that he did like 5 days ago. Just about having the virus, and yeah, he wasn't looking that good. And then one of the state representatives that is over my area, her and her daughter, both are African American. I mean, she's African American. Both of them tested positive, and she's like in the state assembly.
for the area that I live in. And her daughter, who also is a politician. Both of them have it. Both of them. He passed out. I mean, that video went viral. Everybody wanted to make sure he was good. But it was crazy just watching him. He's talking 1 second and his words slurring, and he's out. That's what I tell people. If you go out, just wear a mask. And even though it's mandatory where I am in Los Angeles County, I still see people they don't care. You know? But see, that's what I gotta worry about. Okay, you know, I don't need if I have to go out, I don't need to be worrying about that. But everybody's hard headed. They just won't wear the daggone mask. He did. Yep. Sarah, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. You know that's on YouTube. And you guys, Sierra, you probably heard about this, but you guys heard that Ricky Smiley's daughter got shot 3 times in Houston. She was just going to the burger joint to get a burger. She's okay. You know, thankfully, you know, it didn't hit any vital organs, but she still had to have surgery done. But and he still did his morning show. I think this was yesterday or the day before. Yeah, his daughter. She lived in Houston, so it happened in H Town. And he was like doing the show, and he was like, so he was upset, but he was trying to hold it together and everything. But he's like, now, because of this, what's going on. He said, I got to fly to Houston. He said, I might not even be able to see my daughter. He said, but I'm gonna do what I got to do. He said, I'm gonna go by myself. He said, and he said he had to go to Dallas and then drive down to Houston because he couldn't find a flight into Houston, you know, that would get him there fast enough. Yep, all you have to do is put in DL Hughley faints, and it'll come up. I'm glad that Ricky Smiley's daughter is okay though. All this going on. There's a lot going on, y'all. I mean, because you're dealing with this pandemic, plague, whatever you want to call it, and at the same time, cities are open and shutting. And meanwhile, the officers, these people are out there doing what the heck they want. And just because we, have these men arrested in Minnesota, let's not forget that we still have to get them convicted. Same thing with the men that shot Ahmaud. And as far as I know, some of the men in the Breonna Taylor are still walking around on the streets. Okay, so we still have to make sure that all of those things, that all of that stuff happens. We are a long way from that, and we're still a long way from getting past what's going on with the corona. Now, here's the wild thing. Here's a little FYI. Remember we were talking about, I had told you guys before that like Sweden didn't shut down. They didn't do anything. They just, suggested people wear a mask. And then they made sure that their folks that were, in the high risk and the older people kind of tried to stay out of everything. But now we who shut down and them are around the same. Imagine that. Imagine that, a country that did next to nothing, and then us, who, my personal opinion is, reopened everything too soon. And I'm not talking about like people's jobs and stuff like that, you know, but I mean opening up restaurants and bars and stuff like that. I have a friend who was a karaoke KJ, and she was here on Saturday and she wasn't here on Sunday because Orange County had opened up their bars. They closed them back up now, but they'd opened them up, and either she went out to a bar, or someone who had been in one of those bars came around her, and she wasn't in the high risk category. Now she's not here. Oh, some people think it's going to go away around elections. Okay, well, I don't think that this, was just for the United States, because it's popping back up in other parts of the world too. I mean, they're already starting with a second wave in certain parts of China, but they're thinking that maybe it never was really gone in those parts of China. So I don't think that this is going to go away anytime soon, because people are hard headed, and they don't seem to care about their own health or the health of other people. I don't know if it's they don't think that this is real. They think that, it's 5G. It doesn't really matter what's causing it. People are dying. People are getting sick. And we've proven that the masks help somewhat now, but if you've got the 90, what is it? The P95, or I forget what the number is. If you got that mask, well, yeah, you've got that. And yes, even with the mask, yeah, you got to breathe air. You got to make sure that you're keeping your immune system together, making sure you're taking vitamins and herbs that you should be taking anyway. Okay, I sure will. I sure will, Angel. I'll be ending in about 10 minutes. Yeah, N95. Thank you, Edward. Yeah, the N95 is really the best, but something is better than nothing. Because if you have nothing protecting you whatsoever, and someone has it, it is asymptomatic. They're not showing any symptoms whatsoever, and comes around you, you could potentially be infected. And maybe you don't get it. Maybe you're asymptomatic too. But then you go around your grandmama, and your grandmama gets it. You see what I'm saying? And that is what's happening. Now, no, it's not happening at the same rate that it was happening 2 months ago. But clearly, people didn't learn anything from all of the time of being, in quarantine. It's like people losing their mind, like they never had been out before, ever in their lives. You know, just looking at the chat. But yeah, when I end this, I want you guys to go over to Angel. Angel's gonna have it on, and I will come over there as well. I'll just come out once I close out my stream yards. I'll come on over there and hang out with you. That's true. You are supposed to stay home. You know, and some states have it. If you come into the state from places like here, they're going to make you quarantine when you get there. If you're in California, don't go to New York or New Jersey or Connecticut unless you plan on being there for a month, because you're not going to be able to do anything but sit in your hotel or wherever it is that you are for 14 days. And if you go out of town, when you come back home, then you still have to, they still want you to do some type of self isolation, before you like go back to work if you're working outside of the home. I hit. Thanks, Terry. Yeah, if you can come for a few minutes, that's cool. Wow, really? In Hawaii too? I don't blame them in Hawaii. I can't say I blame them because they don't have the crazy rate that it is on the mainland. So, you know, if somebody's coming running over there from over here, they're I got they they're in all rights. Oh my goodness. I know. And it's like, there was earlier this year, it was like maybe a couple of months ago, there was an autistic teen that, had no symptoms, nothing, but ended up dying from it. But his mom was a nurse. And even though their family did all of the precautions, everything that they were supposed to do, like she'd take off her shoes outside, she'd take off her clothes, she'd immediately go in the shower. She was sanitizing, sanitizing. Everybody was sanitizing, sanitizing, sanitizing. This child still got it. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, from what I understand, he was. And see, that's the, I mean, because something on his mom, because his mom never got it, but she worked in a hospital. And then she came into the house, you know. And I know, I mean, she's heartbroken about it. I know she's heartbroken about it. It's crazy. Everyone's doing the things that they need to do, and it can still happen in that situation. So just think about when people are just going willy nilly.
Just willy-nilly doing whatever the heck they want to do. All right, you guys, I'm looking. It's a little over an hour. I'm gonna come on cam so y'all can see me. Hi, everybody. How are y'all? Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Oh, here comes David. He's gonna try to get on the camera. And see, I'm on my phone, so I don't know how he's gonna do that. Come on, come say hi. You gotta look at my phone. Just look at mommy's phone. See, say hi. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And those of you who can, go over to the Angel Munoz variety show. He is going to be coming on live shortly. And I will see you guys. I should be back on tomorrow. But in the meantime, I offer you guys peace and blessings. I'll see y'all in a minute. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.